Right, so here we are on Sunday afternoon, chilled out, mellowed. So let's talk about the Coldust Cowboys.
Good afternoon, my name's Gordon Stewart. You may know me from my recent Stage Fright albums. I can't believe it, but I've just been asked to appear on the prestigious Coldust Cowboys project.
Well, as Bernie Keefe said on the radio yesterday, the members of the Coldust Cowboys are 3 swans and a shark.
Well, I never knew Wilson bred gerbils.
Coldust Cowboys. You got Wilson, obviously, handling some guitar, some vocals, Hammond organ. Myself doing some guitar, some backing vocals. Clive Perchard holding down that double bass, vocals, and backing. And Steve Diath, drums, lead vocals, and some backing vocals. Yeah, that's it really.
So I'm Steve, and I'm the drummer of the Coldust Cowboys. I mean, I didn't really want anything to do with it, to be honest, but of course Wilson was involved, and Perchard and Mason, and you don't say no to them, unfortunately.
So yeah, we ended up, and we were throwing names around for ages. Couldn't really settle on a name, and a few good ones came up, but eventually we called ourselves the Coldust Cowboys, and that was kind of like, I was thinking of the legendary Stardust Cowboy, and so I think at one point I said the legendary Coldust Cowboys, and then it got abbreviated to the Coldust Cowboys, which I quite like.
We started talking about a project with Alan, probably 5 years ago, probably Revenge of the Killer Koipi. Originally that was then, we were obviously fooling around as we do, and it came up, I think it was going to be Fishhead Wilson and the Mudpikes.
I really don't remember whose idea it was to do this project, but whoever it was, I'm glad they thought of it.
This was definitely Wilson's idea. Yeah, Alan was going on about it for ages, and we're like, yeah, we'll do it.
Well, this whole project thing seemed to come around, I don't know, around about the time of COVID. We'd just done an album, I remember that. It was something about a koi pier, and we talked then. We'd had a lot of fun and laughter, and very enjoyable session with making that, and we decided then that it would probably be a good idea if we all did something together. So Alan would send us these little demos he had, and to be honest, they were awful, utter garbage. We had to strip them right back and completely, almost rewrite the whole thing. So they were shockingly bad. I don't know what he was thinking, what was going on with him. Anybody who knows Alan knows that this is utter nonsense. They were brilliant. The demos were fantastic. He'd sent to us. We somehow then had to try and turn these things into like a song, which we did, and amazingly he seemed to like it, and they've all come out very good.
Yes, I'm very excited about the new album. Of course, I'm largely responsible for bringing it all together. Well, yes, of course, I first knew them when they were playing in the Farrington Gurney Euphonium 5.
So I wrote a couple of songs, and I co-wrote a couple of songs with various people. Steve Diath helped me on one of the songs, a couple of the songs actually that I wrote. And then I kind of revisited a few songs that I did that I started many years ago with Mark Palmer, who's a double bass player in the psychobilly world, and we had to go at writing some songs quite a few years ago now, maybe about 8 years ago, and they never really amounted to anything. And then, but I've always felt there was a little bit of potential in there, and then I kind of dug them out and looked at them, and with some help from the guys, you know, they came to fruition.
Alan had sent us some of his stuff that he'd written, some songs he wanted to like to get down. We done the same. We worked on some of our stuff, sent that to him. We'd go and rehearse it, send copies, rough sort of phone copies to Alan, and that's sort of how it progressed throughout the year until we came to November to come down and do the recording.
What was unusual about them at the time, their vocalist was an orangutan. Yes. Only spoke Mandarin. Very difficult to understand him. Excellent flutist.
It's kind of a Western star thing, really, but I like to get people in on projects. So Pat Wynne wrote and sang one song on the project, but he's also doing backing vocals on lots of the other songs. Who else? We've got a good mate of mine, a good mate of ours, I should say, Mark Popel. He came in, and Mark's been on a few Stage Fright albums in the past, making noises, clapping, screaming, backing vocals, that sort of thing. And he's also been on a few Holloway Echoes albums too.
Hello, I'm Mark Popel, also known as Old One Punch.
Big Paddy Wynn. Marky Popel. One Punch. Gordy Stewart. I mean, it's barely a Wilson project or a Stage Fright thing without those boys. So, yeah, fantastic.
And then, of course, we had Big Pat Wynne. He came in and he sang a song for us that he'd written and put a few bits of backing vocals down and some little bit of silliness. Of course, we had Mark Popel in. He's a good friend of Alan's. He's always comes in. I think he's been on every recording we've done down there. Always comes in for a bit of backing vocals and hand clapping and shouting and again general tomfoolery. So
No, I'm not involved. There was a small incident in the Paulton Tesco. I can't go back to Somerset. But, of course, I wish them all the very best.
To be honest, the hardest part of the album was keeping Popel and Wynne separated. Couldn't let them meet. Mark is a lovely lad, but he has never forgiven Wynne and Bernie Keefe nicking his scooter. In fact, to quote him, he did say, "If I see that Pat Wynne, I'm going to tear him another arsehole." I mean, what can you say? Well, I happen to think all of the songs on the album are really good, but don't take my word for it. Listen to some of these top reviews.
Hello boys, it's Bono here, and two of Boyzone and three members of Westlife are with me now too. We've just been listening to the new album and we like it a lot. What was that one now we liked, Ronan, about? Was it something about nuns with guns? We like that, being nice Catholic boys now. Keep up the good work. Well done.
I would describe it as early psychobilly, I guess, mixed in with a bit of the Stage Fright sound in places, because naturally, you know, there's three of the members of Stage Fright in that band. But I like it. It's a good little mix.
I like to think that I enhance the backing vocals and all the other sounds that you may hear on this album.
Alright boys, Noddy Howdy here from Slag. I've just been listening to the new album and I particularly like the one about Waffle Stop. I think we all know somebody like that. Keep up the good work boys, well done.
They're a great bunch of lads, but they're all raving mad.
Hello, Bonnie Taylor here. I just wanted to tell you boys now I think I've done a grand job. It's absolutely brilliant in the album I particularly like the one about a creeper van. Well done, keep up the good work now.
Definitely doesn't come from the land of Swanability. Whereas a waffle stomp, I'll say no more about that. Then we go to Nuns with Guns, which again it's a bit hard. It's more blues, I think, than or blues psychobilly, I suppose. But yeah, it's good. And Stevie, the drummer, he came up with the lyrics, phenomenal lyrics. Yeah, with nothing more to say on that, really.
I remember hearing like the demo for Free Old Love Doll for the first time. Jolly Collier's always been, it's been the one that just gets stuck in my head. I mean, I don't have a favourite, but that one always comes to mind. If you're asking, yeah, go on then, Jolly Collier. I just love a song with a good story, a good true story, and yeah, you can't beat it, can you? And I was just gripped by what Alan was telling me and the location of the studios, and just the Slag Heap, the laugh. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
The songs, well, it's a right mixture. But a couple of years ago, I'll tell you about one song. A couple of years ago, Stage Fright were down recording with me, and I just happened to say, where are you staying? And Milky started telling me they were staying in these little pods in a place called Camerton. Now, what you have to remember in this band, everything is about an in-joke or a wind-up or some kind of bullshit, So I straight away went off on some kind of made-up. I was just busking it, really, and I said, oh, hang on, where is it you're staying? I said, have you ever heard of the Camerton coal mining disaster? Because the area that I live in and work in, it's all ex-coal mines. And so Milky said, no, I've never heard of that. And so I started telling him about this terrible disaster where some bloke got trapped down a mine shaft. And before he died, he was down there so long he went, mad. And because all these mine shafts are all connected underground, people could hear him for miles around, cackling and, as he went insane. And you could hear it echoing through the mine shafts. And I just went right off on one on that. And Milky doesn't know it until he sees this video, but it was all complete bullshit. So out of that came a song called The Jolly Collier.
My favourite song, and it's weird because this is the one that really isn't, I wouldn't class as psycho, but I don't really know where it fits, is Kiss of the Darkness. It's the one that all the time we were rehearsing, that was just in my head. All the time, I was always whistling it, all the new. I'd be playing the bass notes in my head at work and stuff, and it was just, for a song that I wouldn't class as a psychobilly song, that's a really, really good song.
Dead Man's Drape, however, that's based on true events. Three Old Electric Love Doll is.
How's it going, Matt? Cheryl Cole here. I've been listening to the new album, and I must say how much I'm enjoying it. I particularly like the one about the Jolly Collier. Absolutely brilliant. Champion.
Well, there you go. Who can argue with those? All official and verified.
Tell you what I really enjoyed on the album as well is Milky's guitar playing, because when he's in Stage Fright, he's quite heavy. And then because this was more of a kind of an old school psychobilly feel to this album, he kind of cleaned up his sound a little bit. And he's a great guitar player. And some of those licks that he's done on that album are absolutely perfect.
I mean, I'm here for the silliness, really. I don't really need to be bringing a guitar. I might just let Wilson crack on with the next one and... oh, what's he? That's my cat. No, of course not. It's all about the music, but the silliness is almost just as important. I think a good sense of humour and all the laughter we have comes across on it. Well, I hope it does. I mean, literally, Waffle Stomp has Clive in hysterics by the end. It's just, yeah. I love this. I love it so much.
And there's some great songs on there that those guys wrote. I really like a song called Nuns with Guns. I love the lyrics in that. Yeah, so it's a combination, it's a real melting pot, really. We all chucked ideas in, and what came out, I'm pleased with.
I'm lucky enough to have known Steve, Alan, Joe and Clive for a number of years now, and I'm very pleased to call them my friends, and I'm very happy to help out with various projects.
I feel there's some really great performances throughout the record. Particularly loved trading off licks and leads with Alan. That's just, I mean, wow, that's crazy. I mean, there's Clive Perchard is playing like he's in 80s stage fright again, just full of energy. It's incredible, just throughout again. Just the blending of voices, having Wynne and Diath appear in the same song, and a Perchard Wilson thing, and I mean, there's a particular drum roll in Waffle Stomp that gets me every time. Popel, Gordon. I mean, I could just go on, and I won't. But yeah, wow, buy it.
For me, the best part of the album is who we do this with. I couldn't choose a song. To me, they're all fantastic. But for us, getting to do this with Alan and the guests we have come down are just the best people. Pat Wynne, all the way from Norfolk, just for less than an hour in the studio with us to drive straight back round because he had a gig that night. I absolutely love the bloke, and Mark and Gordon. What a man Gordon is, an absolute legend. Love him to bits. And I just feel really blessed that we get to do this, mess around, go back to being 12-year-old kids again with just the best people. And we make some good stuff as well.
The album will be out in January 2026, and you can get that from the Western Star website and from wherever you get your normal supply of rocking records, whether that be Raucous or Bim Bam or whoever.
I think, so I don't know whether we'll ever gig the Coal Dust Cowboys. Soon to have it tattooed on here somewhere, though. The Coal Dust Cowboys logo will be on there very shortly. Just got to pop and see Paul.
I'd just like to finish up by thanking the rest of the people in the band. They've given me some of the best times. It's so much fun. Clive has been looking out for me since I was about 14. I mean, it could have possibly been grooming. It never felt like it, but you never know with Clive. We've been best mates for years. And Joe, I love you to bits, man. You keep us all young. It's just a pleasure playing with you guys. And also Alan, someone as talented and well respected in music as he is, for some reason still likes hanging around with us nutters, and I absolutely love it for it. So a big thank you to all you three. I love you to bits.
Honestly, I had such a great time recording it. We always do. All the stage fright stuff. Just love the boys. Alan's crew, you know, and him introducing us to his friends, and we all get along so well and have such a great time. And somehow get some music out of, you know, an album out of it. We went down there thinking it might be 6-8 tracks, and we turn up and he's already got another, you know, Dead Man's Drape we were learning it on the day. It was, yeah, no, just let's do another. You got to follow it up, haven't you? There's no sophomore slump. I'm well up for it. Give it a year or two. Coal Dust Cowboys. Yeah. Lost for words. Love it.
I'm sure. I think there'll be another album. I think we've got another album in us, as long as while Alan's still prepared to work an 8-day week as he does. He says he's cut down, so but as long as he's prepared to do an 8-day week, I think we can probably I think we've definitely got a second album in us, and I shouldn't be surprised if we start working on that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the outcome. We're already talking about another album, actually, maybe in a year or two's time. So yeah, I'm up for that, because it's working with these guys is the best fun you can ever have.
And again, I've got to say thank you to Alan. Man's brilliant. I learned so much this time. Stuff that I did, even if I knew it, I didn't realise I knew it like that. Again, he's good to work with. He's a good teacher. He understands. He gets it. And again, he's another one. The two boys, Steve and Joe. So I've been fortunate to play with some really, really good musicians in my time, and that have never doubted me for my talent, because I'm not a master, and I just do what I do because I like doing it. But those three guys, awesome. And then when you get like Big Pat Wynn, I mean, we barely know the man. Met him a few times, but he's like a brother. Mark, again, he lives the other side of the country. The only time we see him, really, is when we go down there, except for the time he turned up at one of our last gigs in our neck of the woods. He drove 300 odd miles to come and see us at our, one of our last sort of 3 gigs. So people like that, they're what make it worth doing, and we still continue, and I'm sure we're going to do something more. And me, Steve and Joe, we just have to get together so that we're like 12-year-olds, and we mess about, we have a laugh, we make some noise, make some dance, and surprisingly, we've actually had some quite good music come out of it. So I hope that's all right for you, Joe. I hope you can cut that up and sort it out, and we'll catch up soon. Love all you guys. Catch you later.
Slag.